Good morning.
Good morning.
We're in the garden, so you might hear a little bit of noise in the background.
But you know, it's very beautiful weather here now.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I hope
The
it's
weather
nice
is
where you
absolutely
guys are.
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. We're on the phone, so you might see my fingers going a bit weird today.
It's okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Hope everybody's having a lovely Tuesday morning. Hope you had a great weekend. We had a great weekend.
We had a great weekend, yeah.
Great time in church.
We're having a great week so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to bring up the
I'm going
verse?
to pop the verse. I'm learning how to do this on here. So it's Proverbs 18:21. We've done this.
Yeah, but I'm going to take it from a different slant today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what he's got to say. I only put up two versions because everybody knows it. Okay, so the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit.
Yeah.
And this one's the passion. I actually really thought this was interesting. Your words are so powerful that they will kill or give life, and the talkative person will reap their consequences.
Right.
Kill. Your words will kill or give life.
Right.
It's really interesting.
I want to take this from a different position today.
Okay, go.
Right. A lot of Jesus said before. He said, speak to the mountain, and therefore shall be removed.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the biggest mountain that we face is ourselves.
Yeah, our negativity.
Yeah, and often how we speak about ourselves, what we say about ourselves, can have a detrimental effect. a detrimental effect on us and people around us. It's easy to speak to a mountain outside. It's much harder to speak to a mountain inside.
It's very good, Pat. I have to think about that one, don't I?
Now, if you read what the verse says in the Passion.
NIV, the Passion. Okay.
This is the word says.
Your words are so powerful.
Yeah,
that's the first statement.
The first thing. So your words are very powerful to yourself.
Yeah, what you speak to yourself.
What you speak to yourself,
mm-hmm.
right? So in order to overcome many things, the first thing you need to overcome is within yourself.
It's yourself, yeah.
Yeah, and so.
Or really, your negative self.
Yeah, because we're living in a world that we're talking about now, social media, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all these magazines, constant social media, constant, and all we see is perfection. And therefore we have this tendency to look at ourselves and sabotage ourselves by what we are seeing and what we are hearing and what's around us. And I really, really believe this, right? Our words are powerful to ourselves.
Yeah. It's true, actually.
To ourselves. Jesus, I think
we sometimes overlook that, though. I think we think that it's everybody else and what everybody else says about us, but quite often we're our own worst enemy, aren't we? And we're the ones that are speaking negatively to ourselves or being self-critical or harsh, or I don't know about you, but I would be very sort of a bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So I can be very negative about myself internally. Like I wouldn't necessarily say it out, but I'm speaking it internally. And I think sometimes you have to sort of really, do you know the first step in this, I think, is tuning into that voice and identifying it. Because I think most of us sort of will say, oh, I don't really do that. But if you actually listen, there's a thing that I often put up on Facebook, and it says, be careful how you speak to your children because it will become their inner voice.
There you go.
So we all have an inner voice. That's the first thing. We all have this inner voice that we hear. And if we are constantly saying to our kids, you're no good, you're trouble, you're stress, you're a bother, you're a problem, if we're just speaking negativity, then they grow up into adults that have this negative inner voice. And, I think years ago when we were kids, people didn't realize that, did they? So people would automatically, like your teachers, how many of us grew up with teachers saying you're this, you're that, and it does become the inner voice, like, you'll never amount to anything. And I think the first step in this is, rather than trying to combat words, it's identifying the fact that we have that inner voice.
Yeah.
It's saying, I have this inner voice. And I think this is really key, what it says in the Passion. Your words are so powerful. So the first thing is identifying we have that inner voice.
Yeah.
The second thing is identifying how powerful the words that inner voice speaks are. And once we do that, it helps us to take captive the words that we speak inwardly. Because once you've acknowledged that you have that voice, the second thing is that it can have incredible power in our lives. It makes it a bit easier to deal with it, and it makes it a bit easier to go, hang on a minute, what did I just think? What did I just actually, typical me, always get it wrong. Oh, I'm such an idiot. How many of us actually say, I know I do it. Someone's going, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? You're not an idiot. You just made a mistake and it's fine.
Can I just say something, right? Is this, right? This inner voice often is the man that was before Christ.
Okay.
Our identity is not in that person.
Yeah.
Our identity is in the new creation, in the new
Yes.
person.
That's right.
Right? And the new
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
God says this, I am an overcomer.
Mm.
Great is he that's in me.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
am more than a conqueror. And the list goes on.
Yeah.
I'm wonderfully and beautifully
He has
made.
loved us with an everlasting
Lasting
love.
love. So
His grace is sufficient for me.
So here's Matt Redman wrote a song one time. You know, what was it called? I forget what the name of the song was. It was talking about the Father's love and how He sees us,
The Father's love,
and what
the
He
Father's
says
song.
over
I
us,
thought you called the Father's song.
and what He says over
I
us.
love that.
Right?
Mm.
So often we don't say those things over ourselves.
Yeah. And
We
yet
don't
He's
say those
singing them
things.
over us.
But listen, we don't even say those things to ourselves.
Mm. Mm.
Right? We say all the opposite.
That's right.
We say
Connects us
contrary
with-
to what the Word says about ourselves.
Yeah.
And
true.
when we realise who we are in Christ,
Mm.
when we realise what God says about us, then that inner voice will become silent and the voice of God will become very loud.
Mm. And even we just need to retrain that inner voice this morning.
Absolutely.
Spend some time in the Word. That's why it is important. I run a ladies group on a Monday night, and I often say to them, like, print out these verses, put them in the cupboards, put them in your wardrobe, put them wherever they need to be. But it's retraining the thought patterns in our mind.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it be lovely to look in the mirror and sort of go, I don't look great in this, but you know what? I'm amazing. I'm going to go out and have an amazing day. You know, I'm going to do so much more. It's so powerful
Absolutely.
what we speak over ourselves.
Well, you see, if you speak wonderful things to yourself, you speak wonderful things to others.
Yeah, you become a more positive person.
Absolutely. And like James writes a lot about this. You know, Proverbs writes a lot about it. Jesus talks about it. Paul talks about it. So everybody in the New Testament is talking about this.
Amen.
And I think we need to grasp this incredible, powerful tool that God has given us, which is our mouth, which is our words. And whatever we say to ourselves has a massive effect on ourselves.
And just, I want to close with this thought. The Bible also says, out of the mouth speaketh the heart.
Very good.
So it's a change of heart, and it's a change of how we speak to ourselves. I think it's really important, actually, especially in this day and age.
Very good.
Start being positive. So we're at the Hilton Hotel Dublin Airport on Sunday morning at 11. We would love to see you there. You all have an amazing Tuesday.
Oh, you forgot something. Your women's conference, please.
Again, the 16th of September. Don't forget, you need to book in on Eventbrite. You can check it out on the Facebook page and you'll see it all there. So have an amazing Tuesday, and we will see you all on